right. Can you smell what the Joes are cooking? This is your host, Ali, along with my main man on the mic, Dave Allen. We let him off the Antonio Brown hook because of the latest news. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But are we still some Tonio for the moment, or are we still looking for a trade partner?
We are back to no
No,
Tonio.
he made it happen, folks.
He
Okay.
is out of here.
All right. So
He's
what
out
did
of
we
here.
get for Antonio Brown?
We got Kareem Hunt,
Oh
and
wow.
unfortunately, it was. So it's in my. I'll make real quick. It's in my home league, one of my home leagues with a bunch of friends,
Okay.
and we were going back and forth with a trade, and I ended up getting Kareem Hunt out of it, and I told him I wanted Mohamed Sanu. He wanted to give me Antonio Callaway, and he was like, let's do best 2 out of 3, rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins gets to decide. He beat me, so he sent me Antonio Callaway. But
Okay.
I got Kareem Hunt.
So basically, is this a dynasty league or is this redraft?
No, it's just, it's a redraft league. Redraft PPR.
Yeah. Okay. Dynasty got to be a little more excited because it looks like it's going to take Callaway maybe a year to come around. Now he may be suspended next year too with that marijuana stuff, but
Right.
okay,
No,
we'll
I
see
hate the fact
how
that
it
I
works
got
out.
Callaway.
Yeah, we'll see how it
I
works out. I
dropped him.
mean, Hunt's not a bad haul. I'd probably rather have AB, but again, with your stance on the whole Madden curse, perhaps that tilts the scales a little bit. Well, everybody, we got a great show for you tonight, and once again, want to thank you guys for coming back and getting your fantasy thunder here with the Joes. Again, continue to listen. We're going to be on you'll find our video podcast on Tuesdays and also on Fridays. We tape on Mondays and Thursday nights. So again, want to thank you guys. Please take 2 seconds and click the like button. Please subscribe and leave comments. We do have the question of the week now. We're going to start having some giveaways. May not be as big as some of the big boys just yet, but we'll get there. And we, again, appreciate your support. You can visit us online on Facebook at The Average Joe's Fantasy Football Podcast. You can join that group and ask any questions you have there, start sits, any questions you guys have or something you want us to address online. We can submit on the air. We certainly can do that. Also on Instagram, Average Joe's Fantasy Football. There is an underscore between each one of the words. Again, just want to thank you guys all for your support. As I mentioned before, we got a big show, but before we get into the show, let's go ahead and address the question of the week. No one got the answer right last week for the question of the week. And again, we are having a giveaway here. You are getting the most delicious chip ever made. Like I said, a little slice of heaven that God has given us. The creamy ranch habanero. Trust me, people, it's worth putting an answer into the comment section. Trust me, you will love these chips. If you like it a little bit spicy, you will give it a total thumbs up, maybe your favorite chip. So we're going to stick with the same question of the week. And if I'm not mistaken, Dave, make sure I have this right. Which quarterbacks finished in the top 5 last year that are no longer in the top 10 this year? So they finished top 5 last year, but they're not in the top 10 this year. There are multiple quarterbacks. Please leave the answer in the comments, and we will be checking for those answers this upcoming week. So we're going to talk about a few things, news and notes. We're going to do the starts of the week, and we're going to talk about a few of the games and a brand new segment I'm really excited about, which we'll talk about here right at the end. So let's go ahead and start with the news and notes here, Dave. Man, go ahead and start us off. What do we have?
Yes, one of the big news things for me, especially regarding my trade that I just
Right.
made
Are you talking about
with
Mr.
Antonio
U-Haul?
Brown.
Likes to move
Hey,
furniture around.
that's gonna be his nickname so we can get this settled. Is Mr. U-Haul?
Mr.
Yeah.
U-Haul.
The big deal for Mr. U-Haul, Antonio Brown, is back in April. Right now he's being sued for an incident happened back in April.
Right.
He was irate about, from my understanding, $80,000 was stole from his apartment, also a weapon, and he began to throw, I think it was a vase from his 14th. He lived on the 14th story of his apartment, so he threw a vase, an ottoman, and other pieces of furniture. And below, there was a grandfather with a 22-month-old child, and the child apparently was almost killed in all this. So they're suing for emotional distress, and also the landlord is suing for damage because he apparently broke a mirror as well and other things, and they have surveillance cameras. So that is in the news now, and it's a developing story. The NFL has not necessarily said anything about suspending him or anything as far as football goes, but they are looking into it.
Right. And to be completely clear, he did not hit, as I understand, the child or anything.
Right.
Thankfully for the child, and definitely thankfully for the child. I mean, also thankfully for him, no one got seriously injured. But make stupid decisions that can have an effect. I definitely think he's going to have some kind of repercussions from this, possibly from the league. I have my doubts about this particular year. But we'll probably see something here in the future. So I'm not sure if the Madden curse is going to get him this year. It may be delayed.
Yeah.
Also, some injury news. We got Evan Ingram. I do believe, even though he's practicing, likely out for the game. Isaiah Crowell did not practice twice this week. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. But for those of you who are hoping for another 3-touchdown performance, I don't think it'll happen this week. Do you have any other news or notes?
Yeah, just a little things. A lot more that we'll get into with the games that we're going to preview. But one going against with the Bills going against the Texans this week. Tre'Davious White did not practice yesterday. Right. He was limited during practice, and that's if you know anything about the Bills, that's their best corner. Usually, is going to shadow the best receiver on the Texans. So looking towards that, they might be without him, which again makes the Bills secondary that much weaker. And then you have for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Graham both did not practice today. I think that Aaron Rodgers is probably more precautionary than anything. I look for him to be fine come Sunday. Geronimo Allison did clear concussion protocol today, but he still was held out because now he has a hamstring injury.
Right, hamstring as well.
So, Randall Cobb did practice, so you can look towards that, and probably more of Scanling Valdez, I think is how you say his name. Yeah. Look more for him next week as well.
Valdez Scanling. I believe they're giving him the MVS. The MVS. Yeah,
is that what we're doing?
That's what they're calling him. So, you may have him. I think you will get one of those receivers back, either Allison or Cobb. So you may have him filling the number 3 role, but he's showing that he's more than capable. T.Y. Hilton still likely out this week, and also Marlon Mack is supposed to suit up. But again, we've been hearing that for weeks, so you may just want to continue to roll with Nyheim Hines for that backfield for the time being. All right, good deal. That's your news and notes of the week. Keep your eyes peeled for those injuries, folks. You don't want to be left with a 0 spot in your lineup. We're going to go ahead and talk about a few of the games. First game, it seems like we talk about these guys nearly every week, but the Falcons and the Buccaneers. What do you got in this game, man? Who do you got? What do you think is going to happen?
Once again, I see a lot of points. I'm super excited about Jameis this week, which I'll talk about that. It's one of my starts of the week at quarterback.
We haven't got to the segment. He's already sniped me. All right, let me go ahead and grab my. I'm going to have to make a switch, but go ahead.
Sorry about that. But yeah, I love all the receivers in this game on both sides.
Right.
I like Deshaun Jackson this week, Mohamed Sanu, all of that. I'm not a huge fan of the running backs, other than I'm interested in Tevin Coleman. Not so much in Devontae Freeman. Looks like he had a setback kind of this week. I don't think he practiced. They say they're not too concerned with the new foot injury. or the same old foot injury, but there is a bone bruise in his foot, and Sanu was limited at practice yesterday. But also not too excited about Ronald Jones or Peyton Barber. But yes, I like both the quarterbacks in this matchup, all the receivers. If you have them, throw them in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Really excited about seeing Jameis Winston back on the field. Wish he would stop doing things as Seamus all. But he's a gunslinger, so you're going to see some different things, than what you've seen out of the first few weeks from Tampa Bay. When I say gunslinger, so is Fitzpatrick, but Jameis is not that deep bomb specialist like Fitzpatrick. He's more of a, from what I've seen from him, more of a dink and dunk over the middle of the field kind of a guy. I believe you're going to see an uptick in the usage of the slot receiver. So you'll see maybe an uptick for Adam Humphries. You'll see him
definitely
use Cameron Bray a lot. Again, we spoke about that before.
Absolutely.
Like his favorite target of all time. And you may see, Mike Williams take a step back. And I don't know. I still think that you're going to see the ball move for them, but just in a different way. And actually what may end up happening is Tampa Bay's defense may get a little bump as well, because you may have longer sustained drives instead of these 75-yard bombs for a touchdown. Perhaps you have a longer drive, and now the defense gets to rest a little bit, gets off the field a little bit, and perhaps they're a little bit fresher to help the defense out. So possibly you may see that. I'm not saying going out and pick these guys up off of waivers, especially not for this week, but perhaps later on in the season, a weaker opponent, you may want to look at that. ATL, Atlanta, again, you want to start everyone. Again, you just mentioned that the backfield, though, is a little bit muddled because you have Freeman back with that injury to the foot, but they're going to want, it seems like he's going to go. So it seems like he's going to be out there, but you're not getting a guy that's 100%. But likely he's wanting to play because he hasn't been playing for the first part of the season here. And now you have Ito Smith, who's done well, shown well. They probably have to give him a few reps. What do you feel about the rookie there?
They've been trying to give Ito the ball, and they liked him in preseason. He was a sneaky guy that I think at first their idea when drafting him was, okay, we're probably going to lose not Devontae Freeman, but we're probably going to lose Tevin Coleman next year.
Right.
So let's go ahead and get our next backup. And he's been kind of having to go out there a little early. I like Ito. I'm not confident enough to start him over, anybody else now.
Right.
With his usage, but definitely, a dynasty league, definitely somebody to look at, especially if Freeman can't get completely healthy. You see that the Falcons are already using Ito, and like you just said, he is looking good. So I still like Tevin. If you're looking for someone to throw in this game, I think Tevin's going to give you solid numbers. But yeah, Ito looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just saying that because they may have three people that are trying to feed the ball now out of that backfield, and it's going to be very hard to call who's going to get the majority of the work. Obviously, it'll be Freeman or Coleman, but now with Coleman, he's not even 100%. So that's going to be – I'm not saying don't touch him in this game, but if you have other options, I may look elsewhere. And hopefully we'll get Julio on an end zone watch here. He's on watch, man. He's on the clock. You got to get one. Hopefully we'll get Julio in the end zone. Do you think he gets in the end zone this game?
Yeah, I think Julio finally gets in the end zone this game. I just don't. I want to say I don't see how he does it, but I haven't seen how he does it the past week. So
you've seen this show before.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if he does it, but I think this week he's got to get in there. Quick question for you this week. Are you starting, two questions. LeSean McCoy or Devontae Freeman?
Oh. Oof, wait a minute. Wait. We have to who are the Bills play? No, they played the Titans last week. The Bills are playing the Texans. Oof. That's a tough one there, man. I'm going to lean towards McCoy just a bit. because the backfield is not so muddled as it is in Atlanta. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
want either one in particular.
Right.
I mean, Texans have
Right.
a pretty tough. They came out last week, man, and showed they are ready to play. Yeah, but I'll still lean McCoy on this one, just because of he doesn't have a whole lot of competition. Yeah, they're both hurt, but we've seen at this point in time McCoy is going to be able to play through his injury. We have no clue what this foot's going to do to Freeman, so I'd go McCoy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, and the next super quick one, McCoy or Kenyon Drake? I mean, not McCoy. Sorry, Kenyon Drake or Devontae Freeman. Sorry.
I would, again, for the same reasons I was putting McCoy in. I'm going to lean. I'm going to lean Drake. I'm going to lean Drake. Oh,
it's
gosh.
Tough. It is tough.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Drake just by a smidge. His backfield is muddled as well, but again, maybe Gase has seen the light here. We're going to hope he's seen the light. I told you last week I'm going to go ahead and put Drake back in my flex and cross my fingers and see if we can get a game out of him. So, but no, if he doesn't produce this week, it's too hit or miss. It's too hit or miss for Drake. So he'll be on the bench until we get at least 2 games in a row out of him, and he's getting more carries. Had to get at least 10 carries, then he can go back in your lineup. All right, good deal. Let's go ahead and talk about Seattle Seahawks and the Raiders. Russell Wilson had a Russell Wilson sighting last week with 3 touchdowns. This year they have been a running football team. I believe I heard the stat that they actually are running the ball 58% of the time, which is close to the league lead. What do you think about Russell? Are we going to get a good game out of him, or are we going to see him try to thrash Raiders on the ground?
I think, man, I like Tyler Lockett a lot in this game. So I guess if I'm going to like the receiver a lot, I kind of have to expect a pretty good game out of the quarterback. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be in London. Yeah, I'm all right with Russell this week, and that's more lack of confidence in the Raiders because I don't know if you guys know this yet, but they don't have a pass rush. They used to, but they don't anymore.
Everybody knows at this point in time.
So just based off of that alone, I think Wilson's going to get maybe some of the most time back there that he's seen this year so far. And I think Russell will be able to give us his rush yards and do a little bit more in the passing this
We sure hope so, because like we spoke about last week, he's not giving those rushing yards that help his ceiling and floor from years past, and they completely changed the offensive around with the new the new offensive coordinator there. So when I started the season, I drafted as such where I would have a choice typically between Cam Newton and Russell Wilson. And luckily for a few of my very important teams, I ended up going with Cam Newton. But one team I did end up with Russell Wilson, and I could say he's certainly been a disappointment thus far. I think we have a fine game. Raiders have a porous defense. I'm going to keep saying Nick Vanette's going to be something until he is something. So I'm hoping he has a game as well, and those running backs should also do well. This is probably one of the rare instances where I would say you could probably start whoever you want to start on the Seattle side of the ball here against the Raiders. I do expect Lynch on the other side of the ball here to go beast mode. I think this is one game we get the Skittles out of him. He's going to want to just completely truck Seattle.
Yeah, definitely. I actually was going through the injury report, and he popped up on it. He's got a hip injury and a shoulder injury. He was limited. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think it matters to him against these guys. I don't think anything can hold him back to play in this game.
Right.
So yeah. I love Marshawn this week.
What are we going to do with Cooper? Over under 50 yards for Cooper.
Under. I don't want. No. No. I love Jordy this game. I don't like Amari Cooper.
Is Jordy the new number one there? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're hearing?
I don't. Based off of the defense, I think Cooper will continue to get the number one receiver attention.
Okay.
Which is why I love Jordy.
Okay.
And I think he gives that very complimentary skill set to Martavis, who we talked about in the last show. Being able to open things up with his speed, I think Jordy is going to be that guy that's just kind of like, I get my routes done, and I'm here trotting in the end zone. So yeah, that's why I like Jordy for this week.
All right, okay. Well, that's good to hear. I have Jordy in one of my squads. Picked him up off the waiver wire. Again, one of the guys I wasn't drafting at the beginning of the season, but so glad so far that I've gotten him off of waivers. That is a 12-team league. Someone was just so disgusted with him, they went ahead and dropped him. I actually had a good feeling about Cooper this week. I have a good feeling about him this week. I think he's at least flex-worthy. I would put him in my flex this week. No particular reason. It's just that, again, that Oakland defense isn't so good, but they have had their spots on offense where I think they're going to be able to have to keep up with Seattle this week. So we'll be slinging the ball around just a little bit, and I think also Lynch gets into the end zone. So I would start just about everyone there. Not starting Bryant just yet, but again, Jordy, I would start Cooper. Tight ends, I will start both tight ends on both sides of the ball, and I will be starting Russell. Not so much starting Derek Carr this week. All right, Cooper, let's go ahead and talk about the Chiefs and the Pats. Everyone is excited about this, man. Is the master going to show the Padawan, the young buck, how it's done, or are the Chiefs going to come out on top? How is this game going to work out, man?
Man, the Patriots are gonna win. Brady's gonna win this game.
The old master's gonna show the young buck how it's done.
The young Pat-a-wan, yes. Brady's gonna show him, and it's not so much. I don't put so much on Patrick. I think Patrick's still gonna have a great game.
Okay.
But it's just that defense combined with the Patriots are starting to look like the old Patriots with their pieces coming back, and it's just a storm waiting to happen. But I think Sunday night, I think it's a lot for Mahomes. Mahomes going against Brady. I don't think he's going to get starstruck, but just going against Brady, the defense not being great. It's his first Sunday night game, and I'm pretty sure it's in Foxborough. I can make sure before I just come out and say that. It is. It's in Foxborough. So it's just a lot for the young gun to go through for this game. I love everybody on the Patriots side of the ball, and I actually really like Chris Hogan this game.
Well, Chris Hogan didn't practice today.
Yeah, I did see that. That's what I was going to say. If he goes, I love him. But yeah, he did pop up on that injury report along with Josh Gordon.
I'm gonna ride Edelman again, and also Gronk here. But again, like you said, just about everyone on the Patriots side of the ball, you're probably gonna be throwing in there. I mean, the Chiefs are an open book as far as defense is concerned, so the Patriots should be able to definitely exploit all of their matchups. Hogan, not so much. I wouldn't be willing to play him. Not Cordero Patterson. Maybe Josh. I forgot the other guys off the top of my head here. Dorsett. I may be willing to go ahead and put Dorsett out there. He seems to have some kind of a chemistry with Brady, but I would still be sitting Hogan. He's a sit for me. He's not only a sit. I've cut him off one of my team's waivers, so I'm no longer on that train. On the Chiefs side of the ball, obviously you're starting just about everyone again. They're going to have to keep up with the Patriots. I heard an interesting stat today that the Patriots have kept second-year quarterbacks in the first half of their season, to 8 touchdowns and I believe 11 interceptions. So once they get a little bit of film on you, Belichick knows how to exploit your weaknesses. What do you think about Watkins in this game?
What a stat. Sammy. I think if pretty sure he was healthy, didn't pop up on the report this week. So I think Sammy's sneaky good. I think Pat Mahomes spreads that ball around a lot. I think the Patriots don't have enough defense per se to guard everybody with all the weapons that are there. I like Sammy. I think Sammy's a solid flex player this week. Yeah, like you said, I like basically everybody on that side. I do want to mention Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. I think that's how you say his name. Guard for the Chiefs was placed on injury reserve
I heard
this
about that
week.
today.
Yeah, so I don't know how much that will affect protection for Mahomes or how much that will affect the run game. I did hear a stat that he was really good at getting out for screens and passes like that, but I just wanted to mention that as far as injuries go.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself this would probably be more of a Kareem Hunt game. When before the season started, we were asking more about Mahomes and how the offense would work. I told you I thought it was going to be a lot on the running backs. And as teams get a little more familiar with Mahomes, perhaps that's the way that it will go. We've had 2 really solid weeks in a row out of Kareem Hunt, and I think it'll continue to go that way. Obviously, and I was wrong about Kelsey, but I think this is another Kelsey game. Just last week, the Pats were completely thrashed by Ebron. He had 2 touchdowns. I think Kelsey goes over 100 yards again here against the Pats. This is going to be which tight end is better, Kelsey or Gronk game. So we'll be looking for that. And the other storyline, can the old master teach a new Padawan? That's a rookie trainer for you guys who don't know anything about Star Wars or whatever. The rookie, the new hotness, how it's done. So that's going to be an interesting game. Cool beans. Let's go ahead and talk about the L.A. Rams versus Denver. And the Rams are just a juggernaut. You just can't stop this team right now. Everyone's getting a piece. The problem is a couple of the pieces are still hurt and under concussion protocol. What do you think about this offense going against Denver this week?
I love this offense. I love basically anybody, even if Brandon Cooks and Cooper can't go, which they both took part in individual drills today, and they are looking. McVay said that they are looking for them to play Sunday. But even if they can't go, I still love Woods. I still love Goff. Of course, I love Gurley. And the guy that you talked about in the last show, I think Reynolds comes in and shows up if he has to play.
Right.
I still love that offense. Chris Harris is good over there. Of course, they got Von Miller in them, but this offense is just super powerful. So I still love all the skill positions you can get for the Rams.
I actually would say, and of course, anytime you lose talented receivers, you would have to downgrade the offense. I believe they will both play. At the very least, one of them will be out there between Kupp and Cooks, and at that point, I still think they're going to be fine. If they lose both of them for the week, they don't pass concussion protocol, you got to downgrade the offense just a little bit. The guy I like, and we've spoken about a number of times, Robert Woods, even though I think the volume is going to be there for him, I think he'll be a fine play, probably have a great day. But you would have to downgrade his efficiency just a little bit here, because then the defense is going to focus on him as a number 1 wide receiver. I think this will end up being a really big Todd Gurley game, and maybe you would finally get a game out of Everett. If you ever thought he was going to be something at tight end, you may get something out of him. But yeah, you're rolling everybody you can with LA, the Rams. If Kupp and Cooks are out, you want to pick up Reynolds, and I think he's definitely flex worthy this week. Definitely rolling out Gurley, no doubt. He's in your league, your lineup every week. On the other side of the ball here, though, we got Demaryius Thomas. What are you going to do with him this week? Don't forget, this is still the Rams defense. This is still a solid defense.
Yeah.
Even though they had a high-scoring game last week, I think they could stop most offenses.
Right, yeah. I actually wrote this down word for word. Not excited about Broncos players at all. I'm just not. I think there's, in every position, I think there's people you can start over anybody for the Broncos side this game. I think Case Keenum, I think we're going to get a case of the flutters, pun intended. I think he's going to get very flustered back there with the pass rush that the Rams are bringing to him. I mean, we saw him missing passes against the Chiefs defense, which isn't. Yeah, that's a hard thing to do.
And Marcus Peters is saying he's feeling 100%.
Yeah. So Marcus is great, and they're just gonna bear down on Case, and I think it's gonna be a rough game all game for him back there. And I don't think
if you had to start one, would you start Sanders or Demaryius in this game?
Sanders.
Okay.
I'm gonna start Sanders just because of what we've seen so far this year, and they've been using Sanders in the outside, the slant. They hand the ball to him. They just use Sanders in so many different ways. I would have to get Sanders over Demaryius. Demaryius hasn't even looked like he necessarily is enjoying being out there so much. He's giving up on routes, dropping balls.
He's old.
So,
He's old.
Oh, yeah,
He's this is a young man's game, man. And we're losing. Man, quitting at halftime seems like it might be the thing to do.
Yeah, man, I don't know what he was talking real great coming up, but yeah, it just looks like he's like, oh my gosh, another game. I don't know.
Go back to practice next week. Forget it. Yeah, you got to be on look at the retirement watch for Demaryius if they keep losing games. Oh man. But no, I'm with you. I wouldn't quite start anyone on the Denver side of the ball. I would say I would be willing to put Philip Lindsay out there. But Freeman needs to be on your bench. This is still a rough defense, and I don't see him running up the middle on this defense at all. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're in a jam, you got to play him. Go ahead and take your 6 points. But Philip Lindsay is probably the guy you want to roll out there if you have to roll anybody at all. Not excited about Denver's prospects whatsoever. Good deal. All right, those are the games we're going to go over this week. We're going to go ahead and jump into our start of the week segment. We'll talk about our sit of the week, and then we'll get into our final segment, which I'm really excited about. We're going to expand on this later on in the year. Let's go ahead and do our starts of the week, and you've already sniped us, so I'll let you start off at the quarterback, man.
Yes, start of the week for the quarterback is Jameis Winston. Went through and did a little bit of research. Even going a step further, I didn't want to just come out and be like, well, the Falcons' defense is just so desperate. We say that all the time. So I'm going to take it a step further. The last 3 times that Jameis has played against the Falcons, he had 841 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Wow.
So he just, he shows out against the Falcons for whatever reason, maybe because it's a division game. I don't know. But yeah, the Atlanta defense is ranked 24th against the pass this year. They're continuing to be awful. So yeah, fire up your Jameis if you can.
Well, I can't disagree with any of that because that was my guy as well. I guess if I have to throw a second tier or a plan B out here, and again, we're not going with the obvious people here. We don't have to tell you to start, Cam Newton or Andy Dalton this week. Those are good matchups. I will go ahead and go Russell Wilson. Again, they are going up against the Raiders. Raiders have allowed numerous big games from quarterbacks. Last few weeks, I think the minimum score they allowed was 26 points. So I think Russell Wilson will be able to do very well against the Raiders. I would certainly roll him out. Running backs, I have a 3-pack here. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I do want to mention them. As I mentioned to you before, I think the only offense Denver will have is Philip Lindsay. He will catch numerous balls out of the backfield. I will go ahead and throw him in my lineup. I mentioned to you before, Isaiah Crowell is not practicing. Missed 2 practices this week with an ankle injury. The tail will be told, so to speak, tomorrow if he practices or not. But if not, Powell can shoulder the load. He may be in for a huge week this week. Also a great DFS play. And my last one is Alfred Morris. Breida was seen noticeably limping, and though they're still kind of holding out hope, he's very likely to be out or very limited for the game. So roll those 3 guys if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the especially I think Alfred Morris was on my list too, and I was writing him down, and I said, you know what? I think Ollie's going to talk about him, so I marked him out.
Didn't want to snipe me twice in one
uh,
night. Good deal. I appreciate the consideration.
yeah, I've got Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've already kind of went over that. It's a revenge game. The Seahawks actually ranked 29th against the run this year, so they're not too good against the run already. Marshawn Lynch has 3 touchdowns out of the 5 games that he's played, and if you even want to count last game, he kind of got phased out with the offense last game. So really 3 out of 4, double-digit attempts. And the crazy stat I saw is he's averaging 5 yards per reception this year.
Wow, yeah.
So, yeah, he's being used in the pass game. So, yeah, fire up Marshawn.
Excellent. All right, who's your receiver?
Mohamed Sanu. If he goes, I like him against the Buccaneers for obvious reasons. Bucs are 29th against the pass. He had 9 targets and 7 targets in the last 2 games, respectively, and he's averaging 18 yards per catch in his last 2 games. It's continuing to get an uptick.
Yeah.
So look to Sanu. Also had a second one, Kiki Qt, going against the Bills. Like I said, they're not going to be with Tre'Davious White. Even if they are, he will be probably shadowing DeAndre Hopkins. So Kiki Kuti is a great,
he's a target,
great little guy coming out of the slot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, depth 17. He's 17 for 22 in the past 2 games, 17 receptions for 22 targets, 160 yards and a touchdown. So,
I
like
really wish I had picked him up. I had seen him a number of times on waivers. He was kind of a hot topic before the season, but then seemed to have been beaten out by, not Bruce Ellington.
Braxton, wasn't it?
One of the Ellington or Braxton, one of the two. Whoever's not there anymore. Mohamed Sanu, that's a good role. Looks like he was limited with the same injury from last week and still played, so I feel pretty good about him going. A question. So you mentioned Jordy earlier on. You look for him to have a big game. Who would you roll out in your flex? Would you go Wendell Smallwood tonight or Jordy Nelson on Sunday?
Oh, so I give you some tough ones and you come back with a tough one to me. That's how we're doing things.
That's how we do it.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm asking for a friend.
Smallwood tonight, or I would have Jordy. And the only reason I say that is, one, because the thing I just saw before this game started is that it's supposed to be kind of messy with the weather.
Okay.
So that could have some effect a little bit. And then I just don't know if the Eagles are going to give Smallwood, with Clement being there.
Yeah, that's my fear.
The workload we want to see. I like Smallwood this tonight. I actually have him starting in a couple lineups, so I love him. But if I'm picking between him and Jordy, I'm higher on Jordy.
All right, gonna stay in the heat with Jordy. Gotcha. All right, my 2 wide receivers are, and we should be picking one, but why not? Let's go for it. I got Woods again with both Kupp and Cooks being limited. If one of them are out, Woods is going to have a huge game, and Devontae Adams. I still think that Green Bay wide receiver core is decimated at this point in time. Not even sure if Cobb is coming back full health. They're going to lean on Devontae Adams again to have another big game like he had last week. Tight end Uzomah for Cincy. I think he's stepping into that Tyler Eifert role, and I think they'll have a big game this week for my tight end.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that goes without being said. I think it was a great start. For me, Cameron Brate with the Bucs going against the Falcons. Jameis loves them. We've seen the history there. So, I think Cameron's a good start.
Excellent. And for the defense, this is kind of hard to say. But with what we've seen out of the Jaguars here over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to roll out. I wouldn't mind rolling Dallas Cowboys out there.
Oh, it's a snipe.
Did I get you? Oh, bam! One for Ollie. You know, this is the snipe out, baby. I like it. We're gonna start keeping track of how many snipes we got. But yeah, I do not like what I see out of the Jaguars. Of course, you want to roll with T.J. Yeldon, but that passing game is seemingly in flux. Don't be fooled by the 430 yards that Bortles threw for last week. That was an illusion. What's more telling is the 3 or 4 picks he threw, and they're just not the same team without T.J. Yeldon. When they can run the ball, control the clock, and let their defense do what they do. So I like Dallas this week to at least keep Jaguars on the wraps.
Definitely, yeah. I don't disagree with any of that. I love Dallas. If I had to pick another one, I was actually looking at this team before I went with Dallas. The Colts defense, if Clayton Geathers, how do you say his last name, if he plays back there in safety with Malik Hooker, the Colts defense has not been terrible. They've actually been pretty good this year in both aspects. Going against the Jets, Sam Darnold back there, it looks like the Colts could step up and kind of get after Darnold. The pass rush looks good. So yeah, if I'm looking for a starter or waiver pick,
you might not be. I was going to say I think you're reaching a little bit here, but yeah, I was going to say because they played against your Eagles and kept your Eagles down, you must be having a little recency bias. But the last few weeks, the Colts have been getting thrashed. 37 points by the Texans, 38 points by the Patriots. Week 1, let's check. We got 34 points by the Bengals. I guess since I sniped you, we'll allow it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll take that then. Well, then how about don't listen to me. I was trying to give somebody because I got sniped and it wasn't a very good one.
No, we'll see again. I mean, getting players back certainly helps. I mean, against the against your team, the Eagles there, they did keep them down to 20 points, so that still is a good offense, even though hasn't been quite as good as they've been last year. And in week 2, they kept the Redskins down to 9 points, so they're kind of helter-skelter. Perhaps this week they can keep the Jets down, who are by no means all that great on the offensive side of the ball. Then you're talking about Isaiah Crowell possibly being out. Again, yeah, that might be a sneaky play. I don't think there's anybody you want to throw in a DFS or anything, but if you just looking for a defense on waivers and you got a bye week or something, maybe you can get away with Sam Darnold throwing a couple of interceptions. We'll see. All right, so sit of the week. One player you're just not playing under any circumstance. Who do you have?
Aaron Jones.
Oh,
I'm not rolling out Aaron Jones.
Don't do me like that. You know I got him on my squads. Come on.
I have him too, and I put him in last week. I just can't.
Against San Francisco, the Swiss cheese defense of the league.
That's the thing. I want to play him. The reasons that I have, it's the backfield is too messy with Jamal Williams and Ty Montgomery. I need to see another week of them saying, okay, Aaron Jones is going to be our guy. And the big thing for me is that it's Monday night. So I've got other running backs that are going to play Sunday night. Do I really want to risk not being that confident waiting for the Monday night game, waiting for Aaron Jones to play? And that's why I'm sitting him.
That hurt me to my core. I'm hoping he does well because I have him on a couple teams. Again, yeah, he didn't give us anything last week, but I expect Green Bay to be up big in this game. San Francisco, as they do every year, they show their game. They show they're going to play for about 3 quarters, and then that last quarter, you're probably gonna see a big differential in score. And I suspect they'll start giving Aaron Jones the ball to run, and he'll break out a couple 30-yarders and have a good stat line. So I'm going to roll him still. But yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. You're right though. Last week he didn't give us what we wanted. My sit of the week is Case Keenum. We've already spoken about why. Going up against that Rams defense. He hasn't looked good at all this year. Demaryius Thomas is going to retire at halftime one of these games. He's going to be down a weapon. You got all kinds of issues here. They can't run. They're not going to be able to run the ball probably effectively against the Rams. I do see a lot of passes, check downs to Philip Lindsay, but overall I'm not expecting him to do much. You may have another game with no touchdowns out of him.
Definitely fit Case.
Absolutely. All right, so we got one last segment for you guys here. Going to get you out here early for the game coming on in 20 minutes here, so we'll do this last segment real quickly. One player. I'm sitting them, so you start them. I'll let you go ahead and start this brand new segment off, Dave. Who are you sitting so everyone else should start?
Yeah, so this is a surprising one, and I actually think this segment is going to be really, really fun.
Okay.
I am sitting, I'm sitting Jordan Howard, so you guys start him.
Okay.
I think against the Dolphins, the Dolphins give up the third most points to the running back. So, Dave, why would you sit Jordan Howard? I mean, that's obviously you start him because I think Tariq Cohen takes those points this week. For me, I think it's going to be a Tariq Cohen game script. I think it's going to be passing it out of the backfield, get it to Cohen. He's going to let loose. I don't expect Trubisky to have 6 touchdowns again, but I do think Cohen gets the majority of those fantasy points.
Yeah, Trubisky was actually going to almost my sit of the week. Fresh off a 6-touchdown game, coming in with a little bit of moxie, with his chest puffed up, thinking that he's Joe Montana now, going to start fitting it into tight windows. Now, I see 2 or 3 interceptions coming, but Case Keenum was just sitting out there like a wounded duck, man. Like,
yeah.
I had to go ahead and
Trubisky says, it's the arm sleeve, man. Trubisky 6 touchdowns. He's wearing that arm sleeve every day.
Oh, that's funny.
He's got that on. Fire him up.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. You've seen a couple of old Allen Iverson tapes and say, oh, man, that's how you do it there. Couple of tattoos on the arm sleeve. I know how to get it done. Oh, that's funny. All right, good. My sit-em, so you start 'em, is Ronald Jones from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been an obvious sit all year long. I mean, again, I've mentioned a couple times on our show, from what I've known of the preseason, had a historically bad preseason, but he did start taking a larger role last week, actually out-touched Peyton Barber, who's been one of those players that's been completely underperforming and underwhelming. So I guess they said, hey, if we're going to have an underperforming and underwhelming running back, we may as well throw our rookie in there and get him some snaps. I hope that Jameis coming back perhaps will start to open up some things like check downs out of the backfield for the running back. Again, Fitzpatrick is more of that down the field bomb specialist gunslinger kind of guy. So is Jameis. He throws some down the field. He throws the ball a lot, but he is more of a manager as far as short yardage, getting that 4 or 5 yards on the pass and keeping himself ahead of the chains kind of a guy. So I see some balls coming out of the backfield to the running backs, and you would say to yourself probably that favors more Peyton Barber, Chris Rogers. But again, I think what they're going to try to do is bring Ronald Jones along, and even though he's going to drop a couple because he can't catch a lick, they're going to give him the opportunity.
Mr. Slick Hand.
That might be his new nickname.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm so excited for this segment. So you guys, if you do start the guys that we are sitting, so you start them, I would love for you guys to comment on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you can, and just let us know, like, if they helped you win your league or what. I would love to hear that.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool segment. We're sitting them, so you start them. You can benefit off of our bad fantasy luck and the fantasy gods just wanting to crap all over us, because you love seeing 30 points on your bench. You just love seeing that. So, but yeah, anytime that happens, you're done with the player, they happen to go off the next week, so you can benefit off of our bad luck. You start them. All right, folks. Well, that's the show for the night. We want to again say thank you so much for coming back with us. Please do comment, answer the question of the week. We're going to come back on Monday. Actually, no. Typically, we do a new question on Monday, so we'll keep it rolling through Monday and perhaps do the giveaway on Monday. If not, we'll possibly have a new question of the week. Either there, keep going back, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, visit us online, Facebook and Instagram. As always, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Dave, do you have anything else for the people?
Enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy your football.
Absolutely. We're signing off. Have a good day. Bye now.